Good afternoon. I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins. Today is June 9th, and today we're having our weekly media briefing update. This afternoon, we're going to have our guest supervisor with us, our guest municipal leader with us in just a moment. That's our supervisor from the town of Pound Ridge, Kevin Hansen. We're going to talk through some things that happened this morning with Congressman Latimer down at Amtrak when we were talking about some different things that are going on, some various activities that are going on throughout the county, including Complete Streets, a blood drive that's coming up. And then we're certainly going to end with Deputy County Executive Richard Wisney giving us everything that's going on in the nationally accredited and award-winning park system. But today we're going to start with a great friend from the town of Pound Ridge, up in Pound Ridge, that's closest to the Leatherman Loop, right before it goes into the state of Connecticut, doing some great things that are up there in the town of Pound Ridge. We're looking forward to being there on June 19th when they're going to have their June 19th celebration, I guess at 7 o'clock in the evening. Certainly he'll tell us a little bit more about all the things that are going on up there, especially a great park that was developed with the supervisor's leadership. So with that, with the 5,201 people that are in the town of Pound Ridge, we're going to ask our good friend Kevin Hansen to come up and let us know what's going on in the town of Pound Ridge. Kevin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ken. Thank you very much. Thank you, and we do look forward to seeing you on our Juneteenth celebration there. Yeah, that was one of the milestones for the town where we took over an old gas station, and people asked me, why'd you take over the old gas station? It's just pollution and everything else, and we realized if we didn't, it would only get worse. They'd been behind in their property taxes, and so we went ahead and took over it and now turned it in through private donations into a beautiful little pocket park that we have in town. But today I'm really going to talk about what happened in November of 2024. The Environmental Facilities Corporation awarded the town of Pound Ridge a New York State water infrastructure grant of $7,634,900. It's the largest grant ever for a town of Pound Ridge. That's for our Scotts Corners drinking water improvement project, and this is all part of the state's drinking water state revolving fund. We are very thankful to the Environmental Facilities Corporation for this award, as well as we are thankful to the New York State Department of Health, the Westchester County Department of Health, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, our partners in government at the federal, state, county levels, including County Executive Ken Jenkins, for all their support with the grant application. This grant covers 70% of the approximate $11 million construction costs to pipe clean water, and some would call it city water, from Stamford, Connecticut, across the border, state border, into our business district. The remaining 30% of the construction costs, we subsequently found out, may be eligible for reimbursement funding through the 2021-2022 federal bipartisan infrastructure bill. Additionally, though, we submitted congressional direct spending applications to both the U.S. Senators Schumer and Gillibrand in the event that the federal bipartisan infrastructure bill funding is no longer available to us. A question that's asked of me is why solicit federal funds for a New York State project? And the answer is really quite simple. As Ken alluded to, Pound Ridge is a border town with the state of Connecticut, and our commercial properties in our Scotts Corners business districts are still individual well and septics. And these individual well and septic systems have been in place for well over, in many cases, over 100 years. And this, this past year, we have been found out that after doing some initial testing, that a number of our wells in our commercial businesses have tested above the federal and state contamination levels for PFAS. So with that, we quickly organized a water district and pursued the water grant. It's good to remember that this portion of Pound Ridge is in the Long Island watershed. It's not in the New York City watershed. So we supply, Pound Ridge is actually the supplier of water to Stamford, Greenwich, and that whole portion of the state of Connecticut. So by reducing the PFAS that flows from our septic systems, we will be assisting Connecticut in their efforts to remove PFAS from its drinking waters. Today, we are waiting for the New York State Comptroller's Office to approve their recently funded water district, or a recently formed water district, before we can move forward with any construction. The Comptroller's Office must ensure all legal and administrative hurdles have been overcome before we can start spending water district funds. We hope to have those issues resolved later this year, and even once those issues are resolved, we will have hurdles to overcome to get all the permits and permissions of both New York State and Connecticut regulatory agencies before we can begin. Once completed, however, we know this will be an economic boost for our commercial business district. Property owners should see an increase in their property values and now have more flexibility to expand their septic systems, since more land will be readily available for their leaching fields. All Pound Ridge residents will benefit from a more vibrant business district here. So with that, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in Juneteenth.
All right, Supervisor Kevin Hansen. Something we want to make sure to continue to echo the great work the supervisor and his team does up in the town of Pound Ridge. And he was talking about a specific issue, and legislator Erica Lang Pierce, who represents Pound Ridge, was helpful in making sure that things are continuing to happen. Last year, many of you may recognize that the PFAS, the authorized levels of PFAS was lowered to another number, and villages certainly and towns up in our northern end of the county, especially the ones that are right around the watersheds, would be able to understand that there was challenges in the communities. Scott's Corner, as the supervisor was pointing out, those businesses were impacted, and the other solutions were significant costs. So we think, and we want to continue to commend the supervisor and his entire team, his professionals that are up in the town as well, along with the board members up there, to be focused, listening to the business community as well as the residents in the community, trying to get those things resolved. So we thank the Supervisor Kevin Hansen and all of his team for making sure that our Department of Health and everyone else was trying to work with them to try to understand how to come up with some mitigation strategies. And again, I think there's a lot of people that don't understand the geography that shows that it's in the Long Island watershed as opposed to the New York City watershed that some other folks have other impacts on. So again, congratulations to the town getting the largest grant ever from the Environmental Facilities Corporation, $7+ million to do that for $11 million project. But more importantly, improving the quality of the water that everyone is drinking, specifically in the business community. And then you have to deal with the other things in those areas that aren't served by sewer systems like septic systems, and making sure that everything works appropriately. So again, but by being creative, working with partners at every level, certainly shout out to Senators Gillibrand and Schumer, Leader Schumer, and certainly our state senator, which is Shelley Mayer in that area, and I guess it's Chris Burdick, that's the assembly member that's working together with them. So again, there's everyone working at every level trying to make sure that that's done. And certainly we want to make sure all of our congressional representatives up there, as Mike Lawler, to be able to fight to keep that infrastructure bill, that the appropriations for that were made again to everywhere around the country, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, and make sure that those dollars could get into the community, that actually saves the community members money, but more importantly improves the quality of water for the other $4 million that have to be done. So again, congratulations to the town, and I'm looking forward to being up there again. I'm taking an opportunity where there was another environmental hazard that was happening there, and the town did the work and the leadership of Supervisor Kevin Hansen, again, to make sure that turned it into, with private donations, a partnership to be the beautiful green that's there in Scott's Corners now. So again, we're looking forward to being up there soon. And again, they are also home up to Richard Wisney, the Deputy County Executive, will tell later on in our nationally accredited park system, an award-winning park system. It is home to the largest park in Westchester County, which is Ward Pound Ridge, which is over 3,500 acres. And again, we're looking forward to seeing the supervisor very soon as we continue to move around for various events, whether it's Pride or whether it is Juneteenth and everything else that's happening in the town of Pound Ridge. And it happens right there in that great park. So we're looking forward to seeing you soon. Right. Today, earlier, I'm going to switch gears really quickly because earlier today, we were with Congressman George Latimer at the New Rochelle train station to publicly denounce the Trump administration's proposal to cut Amtrak's Northeast Corridor funding by 25%. The Northeast Corridor of Amtrak, as you might imagine, is the most heavily used and economically critical rail corridor in the country, linking Westchester County, New York City, Boston, to Washington, D.C. For some of us that took those train lines in the past, getting down to D.C., or for me, when I was working in Philadelphia, you'd have the Metro liner and the other service that happens in that area. These proposed cuts threaten to undermine reliability, delay modernization projects, and disrupt the lives of thousands of local commuters. We should keep in mind again that there was this significant accident that happened in the Northeast Corridor, and part of that was because of the thing called positive train control, which is the good and welfare of that installation of the system. That's a part of the modernization, and those things cannot continue to be delayed, and which is why it's so important to make that investment. Again, to keep that level of investment. It doesn't say that other parts of the system don't need support. They certainly do. But if this is the most heavily used and economically critical rail component, we should make sure that have those investments continue. The proposal is a serious blow to Westchester County and, of course, the entire Northeast, slashing funding for the nation's busiest rail corridor while trying to boost less used lines elsewhere is not only short-sighted, it's reckless. Infrastructure investments must be based on need and impacts and not politics. So I'm urging our Congress to reject this proposal and stand with all of those communities that power this country's economy. And that means putting those funds, the 25% funds that were removed out of the Northeast Corridor for Amtrak, putting those back in and let those investments continue to move forward. And again, if there's other parts of the system that need support, we're certainly helpful and supportive of that as well. But right now, that Northeast Corridor from Washington, D.C., going right up to Boston, that is an impact. And again, it's the heart of the Amtrak system. So again, we're urging our Congress to reject this proposal and make it loud to let everyone know that this is so important. On June 14th, we have World Blood Donor Day, and we want to raise awareness about the need for safe blood and blood products to save lives, and to thank donors for their life-saving gifts. There's a constant need for regular volunteer blood donors to provide a safe and steady stream and supply of blood, platelets, and plasma. So I encourage everyone who is able to consider giving this selfless and life-saving gift. Blood donation is safe, the process is efficient, and there's a relentless need for blood and blood products. Every blood donation saves lives, and repeat donation is the key to building a safe and sustainable blood supply. The New York Blood Center in Elmsford used to schedule those donor appointments from the nybc.org, but they moved their facility over to Rye and be able to work through this particular process. So we're encouraging everyone to go to the website or call. The website is NYBC for New York Blood Center, so nybc.org. Also, you can call 800-933-2566, 800-933-2566. The American Red Cross Greater New York Region works with our local groups to schedule blood drives in communities. Again, take advantage again on June 14th to be able to take advantage of making sure you're giving that life-saving donation of blood, and to make sure that there's blood and blood products that can be created. You can also check out the redcross.org/give-blood .html to be able to see where a local blood drive may be happening as well. But we've been to the new center for the New York Blood Center in Rye, and it is a tremendous entity with the warehouse, but also the ability to do donations there as well. But again, go online to check it out to make sure that you get the right information, and that's June 14th is World Blood Donor Day. June is also Rabies Awareness Month. And this month and always, the Westchester County Health Department is encouraging residents to protect themselves, their family, and their pets from this deadly disease by keeping pet cats, dogs, and ferrets up to date on their rabies vaccines and boosters, avoiding stray and wild animals, and by bat-proofing their home. We also remind you not to touch a sick or an injured animal, no matter how vulnerable they appear, and teach this to your children. Instead, you should call your local police or animal control officer for help. So depending on your community, you might have to go through that through your local police department, the non-emergency number, please, and be able to call or your animal control officer. Some municipalities have that, some may not, but again, so calling your local municipality and checking in with their general information that have the direction to do that and make sure that you get that help that you need. We also want to let you know that sometimes bats can carry rabies. So should a bat get into your home, if you can capture it and contain it, call the health department immediately afterwards. If it was in a room with a sleeping person or there's a chance of exposure, so you can make sure that that bat does not contain rabies, so people could take the appropriate steps to help protect themselves. Last year, the Westchester County Health Department tested 364 animals that may have had contact with people or pets, right? So just 19 were confirmed to be rabid. That included 11 bats, 5 raccoons, 1 cat, 1 skunk, and a fox. Nearly 300 people were referred for post-exposure rabies treatment. So again, you want to make sure that if anyone is bitten or scratched by a wild or stray animal, should wash that area immediately with soapy water, warm soapy water, call their physician, and report the incident to the Westchester County Health Department. That number is open 24 hours a day, and that's 914-813-5000. If you get the health department after hours, please follow those recorded instructions to report that public health emergency. Thank you so much. Last week, we were down in the Queen City on the Sound in New Rochelle on Quaker Ridge Road to announce $15 million of funding for the Complete Streets Municipal Assistance Program. The program is designed to assist local municipalities with up to 50% of the project cost for complete streets projects on municipal roadways. Those projects are intended to enhance safety for all road users. They can include the design and implementation of sidewalks, bicycle lanes, bus lanes, crossing opportunities, accessible pedestrian signals, curb extensions, and associated streetscape treatments. Municipalities will have the opportunity to apply to Westchester County for that funding for design and construction or for just construction only. The Complete Streets program is designed to enable safe use and support mobility for all users, including people of all ages and abilities, regardless of whether they're drivers, pedestrian, bicyclists, or public transportation riders. The Westchester County Planning Department is going to offer 4 virtual information sessions for those municipalities to provide additional details on the following dates. So Thursday, June 12th, that's this Thursday at 11 a.m. That's going to be the first session that's coming up. And again, it's for municipalities. June 23rd at 1 p.m., July 1st at 11 a.m., and then again July 15th at 1 p.m. Any municipality considering applying are strongly encouraged to attend a virtual session. To register, Those eligible participants in municipalities should reach out to Stephen Courage, who is the Associate Transportation Planner at Westchester County, and his number's going up on the screen, as well as his email, to receive a meeting invitation. Applications for the Complete Street program will be available on the Westchester County Department website. It's open right now. The application deadline is September 19th, and certainly everyone should take advantage from a municipality perspective. So you may be watching today as a resident of Westchester County and you think your municipality should be participating. You should contact your local municipality to make sure that they're aware of this. I'm pretty sure that they all are. Anytime you say $15 million is available for municipalities to help provide funding for projects that they may be already working with, they're on it. But you know something, if you're not sure, call your local municipal government. With that, we're going to ask our Deputy County Executive to tell us everything that's going on, well, some things that are going on in parks, because they're doing so much. Mr. DCE.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone, and once again, we're really proud to tell you a little bit about some of the activities at our nationally accredited award-winning park system. On Wednesday, June 11th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., there's a senior pool party at Saxon Woods Park in White Plains. Swimming, barbecue, and entertainment for Westchester's senior population is available. And of course, if there's inclement weather, the rain date is June 12th, the following day. Also on Wednesday, June 11th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., we have the continuation of the American Civil War, a War of Firsts, at Lasden Park. The county executive and I had an opportunity recently to visit there, and it's an amazing exhibit. It's free with interactive displays, explores the significant innovations in warfare, medicine, weaponry, transportation, and other vital advancements that emerged during the Civil War. The program is open on Wednesdays through Sundays throughout the balance of the year. And on Saturday, June 14th, from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., we have a program called Morning Grooming. And that's an opportunity for everyone to experience the joy of grooming our friendly horses and donkeys. That's going to take place at the Del Bello Muscoot Farm in Katona. This hands-on program lets kids age 12 and older help care for the animals through brushing and grooming, which supports the animal's coat maintenance and encourages positive socialization. There is a $20 per person charge for that event. And on Sunday, we're having a continuation of our wonderful Bicycle Sunday program on the Bronx River Parkway. It's a 13.1 mile loop from Westchester County south to Scarsdale Road in Yonkers. The parkway is closed to cars for the exclusive use of non-motorized bicycles, inline skates, and e-bikes, plus walking and jogging. This is really a wonderful opportunity for people to get out, enjoy a very long and safe area to get your exercise and jogging in. There are many points of entry and exit throughout the parkway, and this program will also continue in June 15th to 22nd, June 29th. That's from 8 a.m. to noon, and then we'll bring you up to date on further dates in July, September, and October. And Mr. County Executive, that's our report.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy County Executive. It's always great hearing all those things that are happening in our nationally accredited and award-winning park system. And certainly they had a great bunch of things that happened this weekend where there were at least 3 different events for the Westchester Magazine, Food and Wine. And we're going to add Spirit, a festival that happened from last week, from Tuesday right through Saturday. Again, 2 events at Kensico Dam Plaza. And look forward to the next set of things that are happening. I know I saw some things about Zumba for those Zumba folks that are out there. The Deputy County Executive, you might catch him out there Zumba-ing at Kensico Dam Plaza. or participating with puppy yoga, and puppy yoga is coming up as well. So again, take advantage and make sure you sign up for that eParks newsletter on the Westchester Gov website, and you may be able to you should get all that information and more, including some potential discounts. So again, it was great being out there with the Deputy County Executive at some of the events that we've been having around the county. And again, there's some great summer programming coming up soon for those folks that may have been interested in camp. I'm not sure that there's spots available still, but check online. That's the best way to see. And again, we really appreciate that. Today we had a really great program when we first started off with our supervisor from the town of Pound Ridge, Kevin Hansen. Kevin is doing some great work up there. He brought the information to us about a grant that they received, $7.5 million for water improvement products that we're going to be able to help them bring water in from Connecticut to help out because of the PFAS contamination that was in the water up there in the new regulations that have lowered the thresholds for PFAS in drinking water. So that's a challenge that we're going to continue to work through, and again, and help support every way we can from our county departments. We also talked about the June 14th World Blood Donation Day. So World Blood Donation Day, it was on June 14th, and we're looking forward for everyone being out there to be able to participate by calling New York Blood Center or American Red Cross to find a local donation site. Talked about the Complete Street programs here in Westchester County and the new municipal grants available at $15 million to help them out to deal with that. June is certainly Rabies Awareness Month, and again, to make sure that we are keeping everyone in Westchester safe and secure and sound, and wrapping up again with information from our nationally accredited award-winning park system by our nationally accredited and award-winning Deputy County Executive, Richard Wisney. So again, we're going to continue to bring this information to you on a weekly basis, but in addition, if something comes up, we certainly talked about Amtrak with our great Congressman George Latimer and the cuts that the federal government is proposing, and we're asking all our Congress people, senators, and our two Westchester Congress people, but all New York Congress people should be fighting against this. Quite frankly, anyone in the Northeast, from a congressional perspective, should be fighting against this to make sure those dollars aren't getting diverted. With that, I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you soon.